Alright guys, thank you for returning to my YouTube channel. My name is James Visser, and today I'm going to be going over some of the pros and cons of for sale by owner, selling your house by yourself without the representation of an agent. So one of the benefits obviously of doing a for sale by owner is people off the bat think they're going to save 5 or 6% rather than paying a commission to someone, they'll get to pocket that. Which is, of course, is attractive. Saving 5 or 6% is a big deal. So let's kind of dig in a little bit deeper below the surface. Okay, so doing for sale by owner can work for some people. If you are very strong at sales and have good natural sales skills and are good at coordinating marketing plans, then it's an option that may work for you. Another thing you need to consider when doing for sale by owner is that you're going to have people coming in and out of your house who are going to be coming in and probably bashing on your house and bashing on the decor of your house, and so you got to have kind of thick skin to deal with comments that people are going to be making about your house and your living arrangement. So that's just one thing, a couple things to keep in mind right off the jump. Alright, so this is a lot of red and a lot of text, but let's go over it and dive into this information. So on this one, I titled it Job Basics, and these are kind of some of the things that if you do for sale by owner, you're going to need to be familiar with. Number one, pricing accurately. One of the main reasons you're going to want to do for sale by owner is to save that 5 to 6%, right? Instead of paying a commission to an agent. So if you don't price accurately, and you're going to end up getting significantly less money than an agent would have gotten for you had they represented you, then it really eliminates the entire point of doing for sale by owner. So pricing accurately becomes very important when looking to go that route. Next up, qualifying a buyer. Alright, next up is advertising. Again, very important. I know I said it in one of the previous videos that one of the things that I, myself, and many other agents take pride in is creating demand for houses. The more demand, the higher dollar you're going to get for a place. So this is something when you're doing for sale by owner that you're going to have to do yourself. You're going to have to figure out how to drive demand to the house to create the value. So you're going to have to become an advertising expert and figure out how to get your house as much exposure as possible. Alright, next up, and this is probably the riskiest thing of doing for sale by owner, is you're really going to have to be sure you're familiarizing yourself with real estate regulations and contracts. This one's scary, doing for sale by owner. You're more than likely not an expert in real estate, and you're putting your name on some major documents entail a whole lot of dollars. So if you're not up on your regulations and contracts, you can really find yourself in some sticky situations and potentially a lot of trouble. So if you are going to go this route, just be sure you're very up to date and familiarized with regulations and contracts. Coordinating the details of closing. So this one's very important and something that, again, your agent closes places all the time, so they kind of know what to expect and know, what to look out for, whereas you've probably never closed a place unless you've done for sale by owner before. You probably don't do this, and so this will probably be your first time, and closing can be interesting a lot of times and complex, so you got to be sure that you're up to date and kind of know what you're doing, and ask for some good mentors and make sure you're doing a good job at closing. Now, the next one is, I think, a huge con of doing for sale by owner, but it's, part of the basics, so I thought I'd put it on here. You got to realize that you'll probably end up paying 2.5 or 3% to the buyer's agent. Okay? So, as I said in the introduction, the whole point of doing for sale by owner is to save 5 or 6%. Well, in reality, you're probably only looking at saving 2.5 to 3%. And when I say saving, more often than not, unfortunately, you end up paying dollars to save pennies. And I'm going to go over that a little bit here coming up. But that's a real bummer. I mean, because if you're doing all the work to represent yourself, you really want to save as much money as possible. And right off the bat, more than likely, whoever comes to buy your house is going to be working with an agent. And their agent is going to want their standard half of the commission to represent the buyer. So, like I said, more than likely, you're going to end up paying 2.5% to 3% to the buyer's agent. So, there goes some of your savings right there, and half your savings. So, anyways, let's hop into the next section and see what it tells us. Okay, so 2 more things I want to throw in before wrapping up this video are, no matter where you look, whatever website or association or study you look at, for sale by owner always ends up netting less than working with an agent. Typically, I mean, as far as averages go. And usually it's a pretty large percent. Usually these websites and studies will tell you anywhere between 13 and 15%. You'll net that much less doing for sale by owner. Now sometimes these are a bit misleading just by the samples that they choose. They kind of net all housing types into this, including mobile homes and townhomes and things that kind of skew those figures a little bit. But regardless, almost always, I mean, there's almost no outliers in this. You're going to end up netting less money by doing for sale by owner. Not to mention, you're going to have a lot more stress and really put yourself on the hook for getting involved in some legal battles that you probably really don't want to be involved in if you're not up on your regulations and things of that nature. One other big downside to me of doing for sale by owner is it really is a full-time job to sell a house. You know, it's not an easy thing to do, especially, I mean, you gotta, like we said, coordinate a marketing plan, do the business side, do the legal side, create demand, show it, you know, write contracts, counter contracts. There's all sorts of things you gotta be doing. And more than likely, you work a full-time job, whereas this is a realtor's full-time job. So I think to take that burden on yourself just to, I mean, probably net less dollars, I just don't really understand it unless you're maybe thinking about doing real estate down the line and you want to see if you like it or just kind of get an idea of what that process is like. I can understand that because I love learning too, and there's not many better ways to learn than through doing and applying. So I could definitely understand that, but from a financial perspective, makes almost no sense to do for sale by owner. And like I said, you really do put yourself on the hook for a lot of battles you probably don't want to be involved with. Thank you for tuning in once again, and I will see you guys in the next one.